Welcome to the Mss Francois Show. Of course, I'm your host, Mss Francois. Why? MSS, because I'm multi-talented and super sexy. I have a beautiful, sexy, oh my God, she's an actress and everything. I didn't even know she was this amazing. Listen to her name, Morgana Rae. Doesn't that sound sexy? No, she's not sexier than me. That would be impossible. But she's a best-selling author and coach. She's regarded as the #1 authority on relationship when it comes to money. But we ain't care about money today, okay? Because we're looking for a shift in finding love. So she's gonna help us to do that today. Hopefully she could move me around, shift me, because I need a man. I'm starting to get hungry. Hi, Morgana Rae. How are you?
Hello, it's so much fun to be here. By the way, former actress, I didn't do all that well in that career. So please don't look up any of my stuff.
Well, you're still an actress. Once an actress, always an actress. So that's still part of everything, right?
Okay.
Well, that said, this show is all about relationships. So you're like the perfect guest today. Because when you come, or when we finish, I should have a husband just waiting for me outside because you're about to give me all the tools, all the things I need, right, to make that shift in me finding that love. But I wanted to give some people some background because I wanted to tell people, how did you meet your husband? Because you can't be giving no advice and you ain't got no husband or no man, right? So give us a background about how you met your husband.
Well, I was 45, which means I had honestly 45 and a half years of a completely perfect, unbroken record of romantic failure before I met my husband. And I was hearing myself teach what I teach about relationship with money. And I say things like, if you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing and you aren't getting the result you should be getting, you are subconsciously protecting yourself from what you want. And there are always really good reasons. So I looked inside and looked at all the reasons I might protect myself from love and just wounds going back to childhood, and used all that pain to imagine this huge love monster. And in my case, it was like love wanted to kill me with all the ways it had broken my heart over the years. And when I saw it, then I was able to kind of imagine destroying it, rejecting it. And I met my husband 2 months later. And I met him online. And
okay, so wait. So what I'm hearing is,
yeah,
after you went through all this deep soul searching or whatever, apparently the spirits and the voodoo immediately draw you to your husband 2 months later. So all this time, you was goodness gracious. So this is really your fault that you didn't find this person, basically.
no, I think that there's also timing. If I had met my husband 10 or 20 years earlier, he was a disaster. He wasn't done cooking. He was a bad boy and a hot mess. Now he's wonderful, but I had to wait for him to cook, and I had to like build my own life that centered on me before I could shift my gravity to us. Otherwise, I might have just like lost myself in the process. So
Wow.
I wanted it earlier, but in retrospect, we were ready for each other when we met. Young people are stupid. And I say that as a former young person. It takes time to really get to know ourselves and really learn what's important in a relationship and how to be a relationship partner and how to recognize who your person is.
Because you had said one of the things was you feel like is a whole new life, like after 40. Like a lot of people are like under 40, like what? 40? Like 40, you're close to death. What are you talking about, Morgana? Like, no. And like some people, do you want to eat a 40-year-old burger? No. So like 40, that's like a dirty age.
We've been fed such manipulative, misogynistic garbage all our lives. It's not true. Midlife love is better. And here's why. Because when we are young and we're so pretty and guys are looking at us like meat, like prey, it's really hard. It's not impossible. Some people do it, but it's really hard to find a really good relationship where you're relating to each other as human beings, as real human beings. And it takes guys longer than it takes us. I mean, honestly, it takes guys longer to catch up. What's great about midlife love
Mhm.
is if you're 45, there are more relationship ready men out there because they've already made all of their, or a lot of their stupid mistakes. They've had their hearts broken too, and they've grown up, and they're shifting to be less just trying to get laid and more like they want to have a meaningful relationship.
So
And
basically you're
if they're
saying,
not, it's
okay, because I
obvious,
want to, okay.
and you don't have enough time to waste your time on guys who are not ready. Next.
But my thing is, right? So basically, I'm waiting for the men to stop being hoes, and around 40s, they're less likely to be a hoe, right?
Right.
Great.
But
Hopefully,
if
they ain't
they
got no
are,
lazy, right?
it's obvious, and you're smart enough to not waste your time. And that's a really big shift in us as women.
But my biggest thing with that, again, 40, time has run out. Eggs are hard boiled. Like what? Some women are sitting here like, are you crazy? I understand the concept and experience and being more mature and getting to know yourself and all that stuff is great because personal development is a big thing for me and a big thing for other people. But girl, I'm trying to make some babies. So you're trying to mess with my eggs.
Well, here's what I would do. I would not wait for a guy to make your babies. I would not wait for a guy to make your babies. By the way, I have known so many men who fell in love with single moms. And because here, first of all, that they get to see what you're like as a mom, including my stepfather fell in love with my mom when she already had me. And he never thought he wanted to have children, and he fell in love with being a dad. And I've also known a number of men who wanted a built-in family, wanted an already mom. So I would never ever say wait until it's too late for you biologically. If this is an imperative, be a mom. And that's another way of being able to rule out the wrong guys. You can, my husband's actually a father, which was not on the list of what I was looking for at all. But I saw the way he showed up for his daughter. He would get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, drive 2 hours down to San Diego to pick her up, drive her 6 blocks to the first day of school, and turn around and drive 2 hours back to LA. And when I saw that, it let me know what kind of a man he is and how he shows up for the people he loves and protects. So make your babies. And then you will attract a man who wants to be a dad because that's part of your package.
So you're saying it's either basically I freeze my egg or I just have rape some man and have babies. And how am I making these babies? I'm going doing the technology and all that fancy stuff because most people still, I call them the minority, still want to have babies with that special person in their life. So I understand you're saying make babies, but like for me, right? I'm over 40. Yes, I know I look amazing. Yes, I know. But my thing is, I still want to have that husband and that baby. Good news, I still have some good eggs. I was
Then
told. So
freeze
that's
some
fine.
eggs. Then freeze some eggs.
Well, apparently I'm too old to freeze eggs, but that's not.
Oh, look, I got pregnant for the first time in my life when I was 49.
Shut up.
At the
Oh,
same
wait, how
time,
old wait.
I'm 54 now.
What the hell? Girl, you need to spread that secret of what the hell you're doing. Okay? I need to know because you look amazing. In my head, I still thinking you were in your 40s. And I
No,
thought
no,
you
no.
just,
I'm 54 and I'm going to be 55 in 2 months, or no,
you're one
3 months
lady.
in January. And I had, by the way, a friend of mine from college, same age, who was going through IVF and has a beautiful little boy. So no, don't rape a guy. It's a lot easier than that. You can just get a sperm donor.
Okay.
It, I don't, it sounds like you don't want to adopt. I do.
No.
Yeah, I do believe that we as human beings know what we want and know what's right for us. So I really honor that for you. And I would do whatever it takes. so that you can have your baby. But this is the really important thing, is
Mhm.
you want to hold out for the best man.
Right.
So not the best sperm and not the best bank account. You want to hold out for the best man for you. You can make your own money and you can buy some sperm and you can have the baby so that you can wait for the right person. And you will know that that's the right person because it will be better and different than anything you've had before.
So one of my things, right, is that I attract a lot of younger men. When I say younger,
Of
it's
course you do.
normally,
Of course
oh,
you
thank you. That is true. And the older men don't really talk. Like I do, a lot of older men, the one that do hit on me tend to be more married and just being a pervert or whatever the case might be. But a lot of times I do attract the younger guys, like 29, 35, like around that.
Babies.
Exactly. For me, it's babies, especially experience-wise. And typical man gonna be like, oh, age doesn't matter. And I get
It
it, but
does.
it does. And well, for me, experience matter more, and then the age. But the people that I have been meeting, they're not experienced, so they are babies. And that's a problem for me because I'm very active and outgoing. And a lot of the older men that I do meet tend to just want to stay home and not do much.
They're not your men. The great thing for those of us who are heterosexual women, we're really lucky because guys are so obvious. Like we women, we are so much more complex, so much more difficult. The guys, like if he's the wrong guy, it is so crystal clear. If this is what's going on, it's just your person isn't here yet. You don't have to force. When we're in our 20s and our 30s and our teens, when we're young, we really try to fit the cute guy into the Prince Charming box. And it's like, well, even though he has a drug problem and a rage problem and he's a racist and he lives in his mother's basement, he's got a good heart and he's cute. And after 40, we don't have time for that.
It's funny when you think back, it's amazing how we give ourselves so much and give him so much excuses why it's okay and it could possibly work. It's amazing. As I say, potential equals nothing.
All you get is who he is. We young women date potential. When we grow up and we get smart, we realize all you get is the person who's in front of you. And if you don't love who he is right now, you don't love him. And he's not your person. There's a terrific psychologist who specializes in relationship, who was the first scientist to actually study relationships instead of anecdotes. He actually studied couples behind one-way mirrors for 20 years. And he found that couples who break up typically have 5 to 7 areas of irreconcilable differences, incompatibilities. And he found that couples who stay together happily forever typically have 5 to 7 areas of irreconcilable differences and incompatibility. So nobody is going to fit all of your puzzle pieces perfectly, but you choose the one who fits them well enough that you want to be with that person even when he drives you crazy.
So I want to just pause here because I want to show a quick clip of, I think this is like the 11th time or 11 different weddings that you all hold. And when we come right back, you're going to give me some insight to why you all are getting married so many times. Be right back.
Devi potere con ferito a me.
I'm Devin Galladay, and for the past decade, I have been the editor-in-chief of In the Know Traveler and have traveled to 81 countries and counting.
San Marino! San Marino!
I'm Morgana Rae, and I'm an internationally acclaimed life and business coach.
Grazie.
We fell in love and got married and just can't stop.
May you go now and live together in Saudi.
Our goal is to have 100 weddings in 100 countries.
So far, we've had small weddings, big weddings,
Elaborate weddings.
and an occasional dud.
We are gathered together today to witness the entry into the closer relationship of husband and wife of these beloved friends and partners in love.
Man,
With this ring, I marry you. Enjoy my life with yours.
Forever, we hope.
We hope so too.
Can we try? A little bit flaker.
I'm so glad there's drunks.
But it's not just weddings.
Join us in our adventures. Get advice from the pros about travel, lifestyle, culture, romantic places, and of course, destination weddings.
So I wish to all of people the love will happen and if possible in our place here.
so Devin, I will ask you now. Maybe you will do it or not.
I totally do.
Join us for our weddings around the world.
We're a real couple who are in love and
Do
love
you,
travel.
Devin, take this woman to be your husband? To your... I do. I do. I do. I do. I do.
I do. I do.
See.
Welcome back to the Mss Francois Show. I have with me Morgana Rae. Okay, we just watched a clip. I think she was that was up to 11 times she got married, and I think she's up to 25. And she and her husband have this grand idea to get married 100 times in 100 countries. All I'm thinking is they have a lot of money to waste, but let's see what she says. So Morgana, what did that idea come from to get married 100 times in 100 countries? Because most people are going to think you're crazy.
Completely my husband's idea. He proposed to me over Skype. He was in South Africa on a photo safari, and I was in Bali leading my women's retreat, and he was Skyping me every day at like 2 in the morning, where he was walking through the bush, risking getting eaten by lions. And guys are so funny because I had figured out he was the one about a year earlier. And I was just like, when he asks, I'll say yes. And I thought we'd have a few more years. So when he noticed that he was like this close to getting eaten by a lion, that's what it took for him to figure out that I was the one for him, because men need more drama, I guess. So he proposed, which freaked me out because I thought we had at least another 3 years before he would figure it out and be ready to marry me. So all of my commitment issues came up, because you don't live to be 47 without getting married if you don't have your own commitment issues. So I was already 47, but I had already decided. So I said yes. I flew home, picked him up the next day, and we eloped. We didn't tell anybody. We called our parents, let them know before we posted it on Facebook. And the next day we went out and bought wedding rings.
Wow.
And I was like, bucket list complete, married, great. 2 weeks later, we went to Puerto Vallarta because he had a writing assignment. He's a travel writer. And he asked them if he could bring me along because he had just gotten married. And they said, sure, you can make it a honeymoon. And it's beautiful. And we had this room in the Marriott that had the best view I've ever seen in my life. And it was romantic. And we had like these sunset cruises, and they dropped us off in the middle of the old downtown. And we were passing by their iconic cathedral, Our Lady of Guadalupe. And my husband, sort of as a joke, as a lark, said, hey, you want to get married again? And I said, yeah. So because we didn't have any witnesses the first time, and another woman on our tour, another journalist said, well, I'm ordained in the US. So Devin, my husband, said, great, you'll marry us. So we three dirty, sweaty people, we had just had these massages, so we were greasy, no makeup, looking disgusting, and we walked to the front of the cathedral and we take off our rings, and our friend Tammy Lee says some stuff about love and her relationship, and Devin and I make up new vows, and it went so much deeper because I had 13 days as a married person, so I knew that much more about being married.
Oh,
And I started to cry. It felt more real. And I was taking it in deeper, and I felt more loved and more connected. Meanwhile, strangers in the pews are like on the edge of their seats and cheering when we kiss. And we come out and we're so excited. And Devin came up with the idea, well, let's keep doing this. Let's do this 100 times in 100 countries. He has this idea that people get married and then they forget why.
sure.
So we carve out time to go somewhere. And every time we go somewhere, we find a place to get married. And sometimes it's just really tiny. And then sometimes people throw us giant weddings. So we've been married in a castle in San Marino, and the government of the Republic of San Marino in Europe knighted him.
Wow.
We've
So of
been
all, I know you said you've been married so far 25 times, you said?
25
And
times in 20 countries.
20, so what, out all of those, what's your favorite country you've been to so far and got married?
My favorite is Slovenia. We were in a 1,000-year-old castle. It looked like Sleeping Beauty's castle. I didn't know that I needed a Disney princess wedding, but I did. And I only knew that when I got it. And it was so pretty. And there's this glistening lake below you that looks like a fairy tale with an island in the center. And it was all done in Slovenian.
Okay, so Morgana, one thing you had said to me about dating profiles, because a lot of people now are dating online. So you had said that dating online, is all about getting the right profile. So tell our viewers, what is the right profile?
Well, the problem with dating profiles is women write profiles that are like, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. And to a man brain, that just sounds like nagging, because we're women. So we're writing the way we think what we would want to read, right? So we're actually writing for women, but we want to date men if we want to date men. Meanwhile, men are writing profiles that are, I work hard, I play hard, and they're just so braggy. So they're writing profiles that turn us off, and we're writing profiles that turn the person we want off. And so here is the hack that I learned. I was fortunate enough to become friends with like all the big dating coaches in Southern California. And I would help them with their relationship with money, and they would give me dating advice, which I needed. So this is the way to write a dating profile that will appeal to your person.
Okay.
Instead of writing all about you and all about what you want, instead write about the person that you are calling in and your life together. So it's a easy formula like this. This is who you are, man o' mine. This is who you are, lover boy, the guy that I'm calling in, you know. So
okay.
I don't remember the specifics, but I think it's like, you know, you're gallant, you're the smart guy who gets the girl, something along those lines. And then a brief line about yourself. And I think I said, I'm the brainy girl and your parent who's sexy and your parents will adore, or something right now, I don't even remember. So it's like coming out really, really lame. But the part that really has the magic to it. So first, this is who you are, and you say who your person is, who you want. Is he spiritual? Is he a father? Is he athletic? Is he funny? You know, you say there, not the list of what you want, but just describe the guy that you know.
So it's more description. Is a description more of a storyline when you're saying describing?
It's almost like a movie. It's like painting a picture of who your person is. And by the way, character is more important than characteristics. You can have a 6'4", you know, tall, dark, handsome billionaire who's a sociopath, and that's not going to make you happy. So really dig deep into like what you need and what you want and who your person is, and then just write one sentence. This is who you are. And then write one sentence about yourself. And then this is our life together. Okay. And what I wrote was, this is my top secret fantasy of our life together, which is completely corny because a public dating profile, so everybody's gonna see it. But I did that, and then I wrote, I wake up in your arms in India, Italy, or Prague, and we make love. And then we check our emails, and then we go out to a museum or a marketplace, or we just get lost, and we live like that for months.
See, and I like that. That's a story. So now that person could imagine doing these things, and if that person is aligned with some of the things you just mentioned, that makes more sense compared to just saying someone that travel, someone that cooks, someone, you know. So that's pretty awesome. And one other thing you had said right before we wrap up, you had said, love who you are right now, not who you might be. Why is that important? Because I want to end with that, and that I love that statement.
Well, you need to love that person. Like the person who is going to be your life partner, they're not going to be getting better. You may fall in love with them deeper, but it's like they are who they are. So you will torture yourself and them if you are in love with who you want them to become. Wow. So, and that's not kind.
Because a lot of people think they could be with someone and then help change them to be better. Because a lot of women get into relationships saying, oh, he's okay, but I can make him into a real man.
That's so castrating to the guy. You're telling him that he's not good enough. Leave him alone for somebody who will adore him and appreciate him exactly as he is right now. And find a person that you can love and respect and admire and trust and adore exactly as he is, flaws and all, because you're all human.
Awesome. Well, on that note, this was awesome. You help people with a dating profile. You have some people jealous about you getting married. Plan is to get married 100 times in 100 countries. You have some people admire.
Steal it. 25 weddings. We have still spent less than we would have spent on one giant wedding in Los Angeles.
That's amazing. And you already like to travel, so you just incorporate that into it. So that's amazing. How long you been married now total?
Since May of 2014.
Awesome. Well, congratulations again and again, and congratulations on your future weddings. So I just want to give you this moment to just tell people where they can find you, and definitely any last words you want to leave with them.
Oh, yes. You can follow our adventures at crazysexymidlifelove.com. You can download my husband's ebook entitled Women Are Smarter Than Men.
Definitely.
And yeah, just join our Crazy Sexy Midlife Love family, and we will let you know when we have radio shows and weddings and other adventures, and send us your questions about relationship, because we love love.
Awesome. We love love. Again, I'm going to make sure I put all that information at the bottom, because you know, people, you can't remember what you just said. So that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm going to help you guys. So with that, definitely check out the Mss Francois Show, all social media. Check out my website, MSS, multi-talented and super sexy Mss Francois, and anything you need will be right there. I'm one-stop shop. Yeah, I'm that amazing. So everybody have a wonderful evening, and see you in the next episode when season 4. Woo! Thank you, Morgana Rae.